Alrighty, back on here because we have another severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. This is for Jackson County again. This warning for Jackson County, Alabama is going to go in effect for the next 20 minutes until 3:45. This is for a severe thunderstorm was located near Skyline and it's moving northeast at about 30 miles an hour. Now, I do want to point out here is I've been watching this over the last 10 to 15 minutes, and it has been showing some signs, and I'll show you this on velocity. It's actually been showing some signs of some broad rotational loft. Not quite enough for a tornado warning or a major tornado concern, but enough to at least warrant a severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of strong wind gusts. So, those of you in the Stevenson area here, especially along 17 and points west out towards Rash and Carnes and Allison and these communities out in here in north central Jackson, as well as Maynard Cove and Mud Creek. This is going to be the zone here where this crosses. So the area that I'm watching is right in here. Now, it doesn't really look all that impressive for sure. I mean, it's definitely a weak little severe thunderstorm, but it's definitely got enough wind to it to where it has to be watched. And I'll put this on a loop earlier, and about 5 minutes ago, it actually tried to rotate quite a bit just a couple minutes ago. And again, and that's what tends to happen sometimes in these little weak shear low cape kind of environments. Sometimes, with the low cloud bases, is sometimes they can quickly try to spin and then go back up and weaken again. And I think that's what's happening here. So at the moment, I believe this is mainly a strong wind mode, as you see here. That's weakened quite a bit in the last frame. But again, severe thunderstorm warning for those of you in north central Jackson County here until the next 20 minutes, and that's going to go in effect until 3:45. So this does include you folks in Stevenson, especially on the west side, so from downtown and west, up 117 towards the Bass community, and down southwest towards Carnes and some of the other communities, well, like Cave Spring, Allison, Rash, Eureka. These are the zones here east of Skyline and High Top that need to at least be inside, be away from windows. Not saying take tornado precautions. I mean, if this had kept string like it was a little bit ago, which prompted this warning, I probably said take precautions. But thankfully, considering that this weekend again, we no longer have at least a threat of anything tornadic. This is mainly a gusty thunderstorm here. And you can kind of tell here by this look here on this velocity here where you got this bright green in here. That's where it indicates that strong wind. Again, it could be upwards of 40 to 50, possibly up to 60 miles an hour in a few locations. But again, at the moment, that's all it is to it. And again, I do want to point out this is the only severe thunderstorm in the area. I know we got another strong thunderstorm up in here on the Tennessee side affecting parts of Grundy County up into Warren County, but this is non-severe at the moment. This is just some soaking rains, heavy soaking rains at that, with maybe some 20, 30 mile an hour wind gusts up in here as that moves up towards McMinnville. But again, that's the only other strong storm in the area. The severe thunderstorm right now is thankfully weaker at the moment, but this is the only game in town, at least at the moment, as far as severe weather is concerned, is across central Jackson County. Now, do want to point out this does not include Scottsboro. This does not include Bridgeport. This does not include any part of Sand Mountain. This is staying west of you. In fact, this is staying west of Highway 72 and east of Highway 79. Now, this thunderstorm holds together. It will cross 117 in the vicinity of Bass, which is just northwest of Stevenson. And then after that, it could cross the parts of far southeastern Franklin County around Anderson and possibly Sherwood. Or it could move into parts of southwestern Marion County and affect the Orem area, as well as parts of Orem Mountain and South Pitt. So, and even as far east as Russell Cave there in Bridgeport. So this is something to watch here over the next little bit. Yes, it is weaker, but again, it could pulse back up again. So that's why the warning, at least right now, is in effect for the next 15, 16 minutes here. I'll be honest with you. I think they'll probably drop this warning a little early because it's showing signs of weakening quite a bit. It's not as potent as it was just before I got on here. But again, the reason why I'm on back on here again is because we got this one warning, and that this one severe thunderstorm warning again for Jackson County, Alabama, until 3:45 p.m. Central Time. That's 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's for areas basically along west of 72 and east of Highway 79. and also in 117 corridor in that area as well, up just south of the Tennessee state line. So this is the zone we're watching, and again, as you see here, it's a disorganized thunderstorm, but there's enough wind in it to produce some gusty winds and some heavy rain, and that can knock down some tree limbs and possibly cause a little bit of power outage. As you may have seen, some of the thunderstorms that, even though they were non-severe, the thunderstorms were enough up in Grundy County to cause some power outages and caused a tree to fall onto a right-of-way and transmission line up that way. So it was just enough up there to cause some issues with that. So again, just be advised and make sure you're inside, away from windows, especially if you're in the Stevenson area up towards Bass, and just wait this out for the next 10-20 minutes or so. You don't have to worry about it for too long. And hopefully this warning will be allowed to expire on time or be canceled early, and hopefully maintain a weak trend as that moves from the southwest to the northeast here towards the Tennessee state line, which would include parts of extreme southeast Franklin and southwestern Marion counties, if it can hold together. Now, the rain part likely will, but as far as like the gusty wind, remains to be seen. But just be aware either way. Now, I've not gotten a new velocity scan just yet, but it's still showing some strong wind in here, which is indicated by this bright green you see on this map where the cursor is, the pointer is, in the vicinity of Carnes, up County Highway 39, moving towards the Allison area, and out towards Rash and areas just west of downtown Stevenson. That's going to be the zone where these gusty winds are. So with that said, let's track this out. And again, I'm going to track out actually the heaviest part of this rain here. That's moving over these areas. So let's put that out, and we'll just put this out here to about the state line. So that's moving northeast there at about 30. So let's put an advance notice, and this will be near Cooper's Mill in Jackson County around 346, and Montega around 347. So those two communities up there are where they're on that highway there, or where Russell Cave is. So that's going to be in the Russell Cave area within about the next 10 to 15 minutes. And it's basically crossing 117 as we speak, that runs down from the state line down into the city there. So at least for the downtown area proper, this is gonna stay just west. So, but again, we'll have to watch it carefully there just to make sure it doesn't do anything else. But at the moment, this thing is continuing to trend weak. And I can go back a little bit earlier to show you what it looked like and what prompted this warning. You can see where the wind ramped up there a little bit. And again, this was around 315. This is what prompted the warning there. This was the signature it showed. Again, when you get these very bright light blues and whites and such, that indicates where the stronger wind is. And you see right over the community of Tupelo and near Pikeville there in Jackson County, that's where it ramped up a little bit. And then not long after that, as it moved up towards Maynard Cove and up towards Kyles, that's when the warning was issued. So the warning was issued just before 325 to account for that. And it says there's also a little bit of a hail threat, but I'm not seeing a hail threat at all with that. Now, the good news is, as I suspected there, because this storm has weakened as quickly as it intensified, it intensified quick and then it ramped back down again and is really falling apart now as it's moving into some worked over air, rain-cooled air, that is, as you move up into Marion County. So the rain here is definitely a blessing for sure. It's really allowed this storm to really fall apart and weaken as it approaches the county here. So with that said, that severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled for north central Jackson County. Again, that storm is weakened far below severe levels. It's just a good downpour, maybe a little bit of gusty wind, probably 20 to 30 miles an hour, but this thing is really fallen off the cliff, thankfully, over the last 10 minutes or so since the warning was first issued. And then there was a little bit at the very beginning, around 3:15, there was a little bit of broad rotation, but nothing that I found or anything so far has indicated there was anything big with that. But radar did indicate a little bit of some rotational off, but not enough to really warrant any major concern. So with that said, since this warning's been canceled and this one severe thunderstorm has fallen below severe levels, I'm going to sign off here. Before I do, I'm going to check on you folks up in Warren County here real quick just to make sure we don't have anything up here, since this is the strongest thunderstorm at the moment. I'll double check the wind to make sure we don't have anything. I got some strong wind up in here, but it's actually getting pretty close to severe levels. But that's a good 3,000 feet off the ground. So at the 40-mile-an-hour winds there at the surface. So something to watch there. I'll double check and see if that's got an advisory or anything before I log off here. And so far, no. But again, you got a pretty strong thunderstorm moving across Irving College up towards McMinnville, and that'll probably impact those of you around Rock Island and possibly as far east as Spencer, but I'm not quite sold on it getting that far east, but it very well could if it turns to the right. So stay alert there and be prepared for a good soaking downpour, especially a good soaking thunderstorm there across Warren County, east of Morrison and Centertown, in the McMinnville area, and points east, south, and northeast from there. So at the moment, we don't have any additional warnings, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. If we get any additional severe thunderstorm warnings, or let alone a tornado warning, I will be right back on here. Got all the live streams and everything, got the live feeds and everything, all that ready to go, so that way we can go on in an instant if we get another warning. So with that said, I will be signing off here for now. And again, if we do get any warnings, I'll be right back on here.